which holds
Gotta be
at the
fucking
invitation
kidding
of
me.
his Russian counterpart.
So I have been at this for like 15 minutes.
In the morning
to get an
yesterday,
IP
at the
address.
start of Singles Day,
15
the
minutes.
platform saw participation of
Yeah,
over
every
800
fucking
million
time they
shipping
still go on this, so I don't even want to hear Nyneteen
merchants
now.
during this year's shopping spree. E-commerce firm JD.com also scored big, with sales surpassing 270 billion yuan over the same period. Vice President Ling Chengkai says goods of high quality are attracting more shoppers.
First of all, due to the impact of COVID-19 and the uncertainty of the global economy, consumers have become more rational. Second, after the epidemic, there has been a bigger demand for health and well-being products, as well as cooking materials such as fresh vegetables.
The Singles Day festival is named as such because November 11th resembles bare branches, a Chinese expression for those unattached when it's written out numerically. Alibaba held its first Singles Day sale back in 2009. This year's Double 11 Festival in China has set a new sales record. It also means the delivery sector is going to be busy. Feifei has
This year's Double 11 shopping spree is estimated to result in over 490 million daily parcels. However, many have raised concerns about the waste that the parcels bring. Boxes, plastic bags, tapes and bubble wraps, most of which impose a threat to the environment. China's State Administration of Market Regulation has rolled out guidelines to encourage the use of eco-friendly materials in packaging. Bo Mingming is a deputy director under the Market Regulation Authority. She said materials will be stamped with a logo of certification once they reach the governmental standards. The first certifications apply primarily to materials that have been widely used in delivery services. 10 items such as boxes and tape have been included. For example, certified paper boxes must be made from recyclable paper or made with recyclable plant fibers. Xu Wentao is the director of a logistics company in Shenzhen. He said they have begun using recycled wrapping materials as much as possible.
What about paper? PVC
We are trying to recycle gradually. For example, we are recycling the cardboard and boxes used in our transit and distribution centers, as well as woven bags. So long as the woven bags are not broken in transit, we will recycle them.
But she adds that a lot more can be done to improve the industry in terms of environmental protection. He says this requires the government rolling out more policies to subsidize and support companies who are trying to go green in their daily operations. For the Beijing Hour, this is Feifei.
Well, next up, we bring you the third episode of 30 Years of Pudong, a series on celebrating the 30-year development and opening up of Pudong New Area in Shanghai. And today we meet Dr. Cao Jun, CEO of Pan Support Intelligent Technology, a firm that specializes in intelligent buildings and smart petroleum exploration. As a startup, Cao said they were lucky to join an incubator in Pudong New Area. Judy spoke with him during her recent visit to Shanghai.
What attracted you to come here? What do you think are the advantages of the business environment in the Zhangjiang or Pudong New area compared to other places that you go?
Because here in Zhangjiang, we have a really good connection with the top research institute and the top enterprise over the world, not only in China. Like last year, we established the connection with Stanford. Our national park helping us promote the research, promote the collaboration, and helping us to upgrade it from research to business.
So you've been to like France, Germany, and many other countries. So in terms of business environment, have you noticed any differences in the Zhangjiang Pudong New area?
The efficiency in China right now is much better. We established our company like in 1 week after we talked with the talent leader here, telling them our idea, what we would like to do here. Then the vice general manager, she make the decision right now. Then say, we would like to support you to bring your team here. We're helping you to find like incubator, helping you to promote your business, and helping you to find some funding. The funding is also very important. They also help us quite quickly to recruit the people we need to deliver the information to all of the group and the company in this region. So we find a lot of partners here from the industrial line, so they can helping us quickly to make our idea happen, implement it.
And besides efficiency, are there anything special about the policies in this area that have benefited your companies the most?
For me, I would say it's not a policy, it's a culture. They really respect people or the group or talented people somehow, helping them to promote the local business, the local infrastructure, and the local company's culture. Introduce a new idea, new strategy, and new technology. This is really open the environment here. We're facing a very big challenge in the beginning. But when we find the current challenge, we will talk with our incubator and also the local government. They are always open their door and helping us to find what we need or how to resolve the problem, maybe in 1 hour somehow, or sometime in 1 day.
And are there any challenges that you have met?
You're right, because as a startup, people normally would like to say, when you're talking with a very big company, want to sell your products to them, they would like to say, did you have any successful story or successful projects already done in China? This is really difficult. We just began the business last year, so we don't have anything at that time. Our incubator, the general manager, told me that she would like to support us. You can install everything, your facility inside this building. Try to make it running and show this demo to your client. Bring them to here. We will try to convincing them, say what you did and what you will achieve is really promising.
So how do you expect the policies for supporting startups in this area to improve in the future?
Definitely, somehow. I think right now the current environment here is really good. But then, from my perspective, maybe in the future, maybe we need to enhance our international collaboration, continue promoting this.
That was Pan Support Intelligent Technology CEO Zhao Jun sharing his story and opinion about the incubator base in Pudong New Area, Shanghai.
On April the 18th, 1990, China announced the establishment of Pudong New Area in Shanghai. 3 decades later, it has been transformed from a rural farmland into a cosmopolitan zone. Our reporters went to Pudong and talked to natives, newcomers, researchers, and entrepreneurs from home and abroad. We bring you the real Pudong in modern China in our series, 30 Years of Pudong New Area.
We're at 14 minutes past the hour. Districts in Beijing are vigorously pitching in to complete the goal of turning the Chinese capital into a national forest city, boasting sound ecology, abundant green space, and recreational facilities. Joe Feng has more.
A national forest city covered in an abundance of trees and plants of various species can reduce pollution while generating oxygen and protecting biodiversity. It should have a minimum forest coverage of 30%, with trees evenly distributed. The per capita area of park and green land should reach 12 square meters. In 2017, the creation of a national forest city was included in the new overall development strategy for Beijing. According to the plan, 3 districts will meet the standards this year. Luxin City Park in Beijing's subcenter of Tongzhou has achieved 98% of vegetation coverage and built lanes for runners, cyclists, and vehicles. The park has a combination of various plant life, a water system, and sports venues, all of which have become a magnet for Beijing residents. Wang Chongshan is a frequent visitor to the park.
This is the 3rd time I've come here. The scenery is good, and it's filled with gentle elements.
The district of Chaoyang has also recently stepped up efforts to meet the standards by 2022. By the end of last year, the forest coverage rate in the district had reached over 23%. More than 2.2 million residents have planted nearly 9 million trees, with 50 garden units and 40 garden communities having been established. The CBD Urban Forest Park built in the concrete jungle has become a popular destination for white-collar workers. Yuan Yunfeng is with the CBD Management Committee.
We kept the over 20-year-old white poplar tree and grew 50 types of plants in a 1.8-hectare park. There are benches, perches for birds, and circular
18,000
footpaths
square
that
meters.
stretch thousands of meters in the park as well.
Li Tao from the Capital Greenery Committee says that in the past 3 years, actions taken under the initiative have brought remarkable changes to Beijing.
注册的公园现在有1050个 There are now 1,050 registered parks in Beijing. In addition, there are also some mini Greenland and around 400 pocket parks. Greenery is a common sight in residential complexes, and forests can be easily found around the city.
Experts say Beijing is at the forefront of China's plan to build forest cities thanks to its heightened effort. China aims to build 6 national forest city groups across the country by 2020, which include those in the Beijing-Tianjin-Hebei region, the Yangtze River Delta, and the Pearl River Delta. For the Beijing Hour, I'm Zhifang.
China has refuted claims of an adverse, serious event caused by a COVID-19 vaccine developed by pharmaceutical company Sinovac. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin says that the death of a participant in a trial in Brazil is not related to the vaccine itself. He says Sinovac's cooperation partner, Butantan Institute in Brazil, found that the incident had nothing to do with the vaccine. He says Sinovac will keep in touch with the Brazilian side of the matter. The state government of Sao Paulo, where the trial is being run, has confirmed that the death of the volunteer was ruled a suicide. Sinovac issued a statement saying that the clinical trial in Brazil was carried out in accordance with good clinical practice requirements, and it is confident in the safety of the vaccine. Hong Kong's announced that an air travel bubble with Singapore will launch on November 22nd. Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development Edward Yao says that steps have been taken based on efficient antivirus control from both sides.
Hong Kong is not cooperating with
This is
anything to do
Hong
with China.
Kong's first air travel bubble with a location abroad. Not only will it facilitate
Singapore
the
tried
movement
George
of
W.
people
Bush
between
found him
both
guilty of war
places,
crimes.
but it also represents that authorities in both places are resuming economic activities in a gradual and a progressive manner in the face of the virus.
One designated flight with a maximum of 200 passengers will operate daily during the first 15 days. It'll require passengers to take coronavirus tests at both ends of their journey. Hong Kong authorities have also scrapped a mandatory 14-day quarantine for residents returning from neighboring Macau and Guangdong province on the condition that they stay in either place for at least 14 days before returning to Hong Kong. Authorities will monitor the virus situation and make further adjustments in the number of people allowed to travel, and they will halt travel if necessary. Coming up, surging hospitalization numbers for COVID patients in the U.S.
The Beijing Hour. The Beijing Hour. The Beijing Hour brings you an hour of comprehensive news and information from both China and the rest of the world. Mixed with news, sports, and entertainment. Analysis of the day's big stories, as well as the most comprehensive business stories. The Beijing Hour. Your very own window to China and the rest of the world.
At 19 past the hour. The United States is experiencing an unprecedented surge in people hospitalized with COVID-19, a situation that's seeing hospitals overwhelmed. The rise in hospitalizations comes as the U.S. has surpassed 1 million confirmed coronavirus cases since the start of the month. The COVID tracking project data shows that as of Tuesday, over 61,000 people with COVID-19 were being treated in hospitals across the country. Dr. Julie Watson is with Integris Health, which operates 18 hospitals across the state of Oklahoma.
We are in trouble. Our local and state healthcare resources are approaching their limits. And if nothing is done soon to slow the rise in cases, our hospitals will be more overwhelmed than they already are, and we won't be able to be there for all of those who need it.
Data shows that 17 states are at their peak for hospitalizations as of Tuesday. States with hospitals on the brink of being overwhelmed include Texas, Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds says staffing at hospitals during the coronavirus outbreak has been a problem.
While beds still are available for patient care, staffing them is becoming increasingly challenging as some healthcare workers may be sick or in quarantine or caring for other family members.
Authorities in some states and cities have resorted to transferring patients to other hospitals in their regions to ease pressure. Data shows that the U.S. has recorded over 100,000 daily cases and about 1,000 deaths for over a week now.
Let's move all
On
these sick
Wednesday,
people around.
Texas became the first U.S. state to surpass 1
China
million
built the
confirmed
hospital in 10 days.
COVID-19 cases.
Don't move the
California
patients.
on track to follow.
I only have 7 minutes
Britain's
to get
number
them
of
dragged
COVID-19
down to
deaths
the
has
lunchroom.
surpassed
Take you
50,000.
30
This
seconds
comes
to
after
bring
the
10
government
meals up.
reported 595 deaths on Wednesday. Britain is the fifth
Why is the
country to
person
reach
wiping somebody's
50,000
ass also serving
COVID-19
the
deaths
food
after the U.S., Brazil, India,
at
and
the
Mexico.
same time?
Prime Minister Boris Johnson says the grim figure shows that Britain is not out of the woods yet, despite mass testing and the prospect of a vaccine. He says they have to change the way they've treated the virus so far. He's called on people in Britain to continue to follow government guidance in order to suppress the disease. Spain says the country's health system is experiencing pressure due to an increasing number of patients hospitalized with COVID-19. Data from the health ministry shows that 31.7% of intensive care unit beds are currently occupied by coronavirus patients across the country. The health ministry reported 411 COVID-19 deaths on Tuesday, the largest daily count in the country's second wave. Spain also recorded over 17,000 new coronavirus cases, bringing the total in the country close to 1.4 million. In the meantime, German Chancellor Angela Merkel says despite the news of a possible vaccine, the coronavirus crisis remains severe in her country. Merkel told the government's Council of Economic Advisors that they expect the second wave to be even more severe throughout the winter. The European Union is proposing plans to improve the region's preparedness and coordination in the event of a future public health crisis like the coronavirus. The Commission unveiled a series of proposals to reinforce surveillance across borders and to boost the powers of EU agencies, like the European Centre for Disease Control and Prevention. Stella Kyriakidis is EU Commissioner for Health and Food Safety.
This is going to be a step change for EU's collective capacity to respond and to coordinate. With today's proposals, our response will in the future be stronger and, importantly, also more coherent.
The European Commission proposals will now go to the member countries and the European Parliament for consideration. Meantime, spokesperson Eric Nemer announced that the Commission has signed a deal to buy up to 300 million doses of Pfizer and BioNTech's COVID-19 vaccine.
The college authorized a fourth contract with pharmaceutical company BioNTech Pfizer. It covers a purchase of up to 300 million doses to be supplied once the vaccine has proven to be safe and effective against COVID-19.
The agreement follows the drug maker's announcement on Monday that the results show that the vaccine candidate is more than 90% effective. Under the agreement, EU countries will be able to buy 200 million doses and have an option to purchase
9 times out of 10 you won't get sick. When it comes back around
South African President Cyril Ramaphosa is warning of a second wave of the coronavirus in his country. He's calling on people to take common sense measures to avoid a resurgence of the pandemic.
In his latest address to the nation, Ramaphosa says South Africa has endured the worst of the COVID-19 storm.
At the height of the pandemic in July, we were recording around 12,000 new cases a day. For more than 2 months now, the number of new infections has remained relatively stable at below 2,000 a day. The number of deaths has been declining steadily.
He says the government is now working to enable all parts of the economy to return to full operation. It's dropping its travel red list, allowing tourists from all countries. Trading hours for alcohol will be normalized. However, Ramaphosa is warning the nation that COVID-19 is far from over. Some places, including Eastern Cape Province, are showing signs of a resurgence of the virus.
In the last week, people with sickle cell you treat like shit? What about all the people you force sex change operations on? What about all the newborns you rape as a cure for HIV? What about all the condoms we send you and you put holes in them on purpose, you fucking goof?
45% higher than the previous 14 days. It is a matter of time before this surge spreads to other parts of the country.
He says an action plan will be implemented to contain and manage the surge.
Interventions that we've come up with include primary health care outreach teams to intensify contact tracing, daily community mobilization, and being ready to respond to possible cluster outbreaks.
The poster has announced that the current state of disaster will be extended for 1 more month. He also announced a 5-day mourning period for those who lost their lives to the virus.
Meaning what? For 5 days, you can't get any medicine. For 5 days, we're not going to count COVID cases. These cases aren't real. They don't count because during the morning period.
With the disease. For the Beijing Hour,
we're going to mourn for the people that are still alive.
Georgia is counting U.S. presidential ballots. Want to know what's trending in China? China Plus News helps you to discover the real China.
When they got all those miners in Chile out of the mine, they said China would have solved the problem the same day, not 62 months later. One stick of dynamite. Boom!
On Facebook. And discover
I think they heard that because they are taking a very critical eye to every other country.
Open your eyes to the real China. 27 minutes past the hour. In the U.S., Georgia will conduct a statewide hand recount of presidential election ballots. Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger says his office wants the process to begin by the end of the week.
As it stands today, 97 counties have sent their final numbers in. The current margin stands at 14,111 between the president and Senator Biden, Vice President Biden. My office will continue to investigate each and every instance of illegal voting, double voting, felon voting, people voting out of state. If you report it, we will investigate it. Every legal vote will count. We will continue to follow the law.
He adds that the state will complete the recount in time to meet its November 20th deadline for certifying statewide election results. Democrat Joe Biden holds a lead of over 14,000 votes over incumbent President Donald Trump out of nearly 5 million ballots that were cast in Georgia. It's 28 past the hour now. Checking the forecast. Beijing today, sunny skies and 19 degrees Celsius, a low of +3 this evening. Chongqing's cloudy and 23, then down to 13. Lhasa sunny and 15 with a low of 0. Hong Kong sunny and 26, the low is 20. In North America, Washington, D.C. will be getting a light rainfall on Thursday and a high of 18 degrees Celsius. New York City is getting a light rain on 14. In Africa, Nairobi is getting light rain and 25. Finally, to Oceania, Port is getting light rainfall and 29 degrees Celsius. It's time for a short break. So far this hour, the Chinese central government says the decision to suspend all members of Hong Kong's legislative council is reasonable and justified. The U.S. is experiencing an unprecedented surge in the number of people hospitalized because of COVID-19. The U.S. state of Georgia is hand-counting ballots from the presidential election.
Because they lie to everybody else, successfully, and with us. They have to face the fact that they're a crackhead. They exist. Don't get yourself.
Join the most popular Chinese language learning page on Facebook by searching for CRI Learn Chinese. It's a quick yet fun way to achieve your language goals. Start your free lessons now with unlimited videos, photos, and text tutorials on expressions and Chinese culture. CRI Learn Chinese Facebook page. The road opens.
You know what the American stations are turning up the fucking game. Wow. What they're actually doing is turning down the game.
Beijing Hour brings you an hour of comprehensive news and information.
They're going to catch every fuck up everybody else. And so far in my life, this is what I've observed. Everybody does. If they get something right once, they have to fuck up everything else for the rest of their life. Please, scream in my ear. That's a good way to get me to listen. Jesus.
Want to know what's trending in China?
What is
China Plus News Facebook page helps you to discover the real China. Find the latest news from quirky Chinese inventions, videos, photos, live streaming, and more. Join me.
Cops trying to tap the phone. Click! Click!
Plus News on Facebook.
It's literally, you can hear somebody picking up the receiver.
Traditions and culture. China Plus News Facebook page.
I know this is not generally how they do it these days, but they can. And that's
examine the events that impact and shape China and the rest of the world. This is the Beijing Hour, 1 hour of news and information brought to you every weekday.
Now here's your host, Megan with you on this Thursday morning. Still to come, in business, huge sales volume for the Double 11 Shopping Festival. In sports, gearing up for the Chinese Super League final. In culture and entertainment, some pre-pandemic Hollywood titles will soon be in Chinese theaters. There are a number of ways to contact us. You can talk to us on Twitter at China Plus News or log on to Facebook, China Plus News, for more news, videos, and analysis. Now checking the day's headlines, Chinese Premier Li Keqiang says policies in promoting economic stability and recovery must be well implemented. He made the remarks when presiding over an executive meeting of the State Council. Inspection shows that local governments have channeled 2 trillion yuan, over $300 billion of new fiscal funds, to the primary level in cities and counties since the beginning of the year to help businesses and individuals directly. Officials say policies, including tax and fee cuts, have been effective in supporting market entities, boosting confidence and stabilizing the economy. The meetings decided to further energize market entities and unleash the potential of domestic demand. The country will deepen reformat the Shanghai Pilot Free Trade Zone and pilot an administrative reform on market entry in the Pudong New area of the city. The number of licenses needed to establish a business in the area will be reduced. The Chinese central government says the decision by the top legislature to disqualify 4 Hong Kong Legislative Council members is reasonable and justified by law. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin made the remarks in response to a query on the decision of the National People's Congress Standing Committee on the disqualification of the members of the Legislative Council of Hong Kong. The Hong Kong Special Administrative Regional Government announced the disqualifications following the decision that was adopted by the top legislature. Wang says the move is necessary in safeguarding the rule of law in Hong Kong and the constitutional.
I'm not your brethren. Wow, bro.
The decision of the NPC Standing Committee is targeted at NACO members who do not meet the statutory requirements for upholding the basic law of Hong Kong Special Administrative Region and for being loyal to the region. Violators must bear legal responsibility. This is the basic norm of any rule of law society.
The liaison office of the Chinese central government in Hong Kong says the NPC decision is just moved to safeguard Hong Kong's overall and long-term interests, and has won the support of the mainstream public opinion in Hong Kong society. The United States is experiencing an unprecedented surge in people hospitalized with COVID-19, a situation that's seeing hospitals overwhelmed. The rise in hospitalizations comes as the U.S. has surpassed 1 million confirmed coronavirus cases since the start of this month. The COVID tracking project data shows that as of Tuesday, over 61,000 people with COVID-19 were being treated in hospitals across the country. Dr. Julie Watson is with Integris Health, which operates 18 hospitals across the state of Oklahoma.
We are in trouble. Our local and state healthcare resources are approaching their limits. And if nothing is done soon to slow the rise in cases, our hospitals will be more overwhelmed than they already are, and we won't be able to be there for all of those who need it.
Data shows that 17 states are at their peak for hospitalizations as of Tuesday. States with hospitals on the brink of being overwhelmed include Texas, Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. Britain's number of COVID-19 deaths has surpassed 50,000. This comes after the government reported 595 deaths on Wednesday. Britain is the 5th country to reach 50,000 COVID-19 deaths after the United States, Brazil, India, and Mexico. Prime Minister Boris Johnson says the current figure shows that Britain is not out of the woods yet, despite mass testing and the prospects for a vaccine. He says they have to change the way they've treated the virus so far. He's also called on people in Britain to continue to follow government guidance in order to suppress the disease. Spain says the country's health system is experiencing pressure due to an increasing number of patients hospitalized with COVID-19. Data from the health ministry shows that 31.7% of intensive care unit beds are currently occupied by coronavirus patients across the country. The health ministry reported 411 COVID-19 deaths on Tuesday, the largest daily count in the country's second wave. Spain's also recorded over 17,000 new coronavirus cases, bringing the total close to 1.4 million. Meantime, German Chancellor Angela Merkel says, despite the news of a possible vaccine, the coronavirus crisis in her country remains severe. Merkel told the government's Council of Economic Advisors that they expect the second wave to be more severe throughout the winter. The Greek government's announced a nationwide curfew starting this Friday. The new restrictions follow a second nationwide coronavirus lockdown, which was declared last week. Greece has recorded a rise in the number of people intubated and the number of deaths due to COVID-19.
They haven't used that word in a while.
The country reported a record 43 COVID-19 deaths, raising the total to over 900. More than 2,700 new infections were also reported, bringing the total to over 63,000 cases. The curfew will be in place between 9 p.m. and 5 in the morning, with exemptions for work, healthcare, and walking pets.
There you go. Is that not the loophole they got
business? Huge sales volume for the Double 11 Shopping Festival.
Walking your dog for hours.
You're listening to the Beijing Hour. 60 minutes of comprehensive news. Your window on China and the world.
That's just a piece that broke off on this part.
37 minutes past the hour now. Turning to business, U.S. stocks ended mixed on Wednesday. The Dow dropped less than 0.1%. The S&P 500 rose over 0.7%. And the Nasdaq rallied 2%. Investors have reportedly switched back to technology stocks and away from economically sensitive ones as they weigh COVID-19 vaccine progress against a virus surge. Ross Gerber is the CEO of wealth and investment management firm Gerber Kawasaki.
We expect COVID to spike dramatically over the next 30 days to 60 days, right into Christmas, and this is going to be a big damper on the economy, right in a period of time where, you know, people really want to spend time with their families and spend money on gifts, and so the timing is horrible.
The whole world celebrates Christmas.
Right. So we're really not. I really want to be a bull. Honestly, I'm feeling like I want to be a bull, but I think I'm going to have to wait till next year.
The European markets closed sharply higher on Monday, with shares in Britain leading the region. London's FTSE 100 was up more than 1.3%. Germany's DAX gained 0.4%, and France's CAC 40 rose
was that not the name? Was that the name of the security guard? The security
guard on Deep Space lower on Wednesday. The Shanghai Composite Index was down by 0.5%. The Shenzhen Component Index decreased 2%. Stocks in the electronic information, automobile, manufacturing, and furniture sectors were major losers. Hong Kong stocks also finished lower. The Hang Seng Index shed 0.3%. Elsewhere, South Korean markets are on an 8-day winning streak amid rising hopes for a COVID-19 vaccine candidate. The Kospi gained 1.3% yesterday. In Singapore, the markets closed higher, with the Straits Times Index going up by 0.3%. In Japan, Tokyo stocks also finished higher. The Nikkei gained 1.7%.
This is a neglected plant.
Chinese consumers have spent big during the Singles' Day shopping festival, showing the country's strong economic recovery from COVID-19. Shoppers spent nearly 500 billion yuan, roughly $75 billion on Taobao and Tmall, the e-commerce platforms operated by Alibaba, from November 1st to 12 a.m. today. The platform saw participation of over 800 million shoppers and 5 million merchants during this year's shopping spree. E-commerce firm JD.com has also scored big, with sales surpassing 270 billion yuan over the same period. Alibaba started the shopping festival in 2009. It's been the world's largest online shopping festival since then. With more on this, we're joined by financial analyst Cao San. Good morning.
Morning.
So what does the sales volume tell us about China's economy and its recovery from COVID-19?
Well, it shows that the consumers are very robust in terms of their spending, and consumption is driving the economic growth. And that also shows that China has been successful in rebalancing the economy to have it more driven by internal circulation.
Well, compared with previous years, what are the highlights and new trends that you've observed during this year's shopping festival?
Well, one of the things I observed is the foreign interest in this festival. We're seeing more and more foreign brands that participate in this, and I think that really shows that China is opening up to the outside world, and companies around the globe need to tap into the demand of Chinese consumers.
More than 2,600 overseas brands from over 80 countries and regions debuted on Tmall for the shopping festival this year. So what can we infer from these numbers?
Well, it shows that it is a two-way opening up, that the foreign companies are benefiting from China's growth, and it also shows that China is serious about reducing its trade surplus and have more balanced trade with the outside world.
Thank you very much for joining us this morning. That's Cao San talking about this year's Double 11 Shopping Festival. We're at 41 minutes past the hour. It's estimated that nearly 3 billion parcels will be handled during Double 11. That's an increase of around 30% year on year. Major economic powerhouses Guangdong and Zhejiang are expected to reap heavily in the benefits of the online shopping spree. Retailers are busy with the biggest shopping event in the world, currently underway in China. Merchants in European countries, including Spain, are also trying to present their products during this period. Perfume company Aromas Artesanales is showcasing its products at the shopping event for the first time. And Jose Antonio Beltran is area manager of the company. He says the shopping festival helps them to reach more customers.
Our business went through a really positive change. Now we are international. Now our brand reached the countries, otherwise we couldn't.
The company recently formed a partnership with Alibaba-owned online retailer AliExpress. The online retail service opened a physical store in Madrid last year. Estela Ia is the director of marketing for AliExpress in Spain, and she says they want to provide a different shopping experience and help more Spanish companies to adapt to a post-pandemic marketplace.
Una plataforma global. No quiero que nos vean una plataforma. We are a global platform. We don't want to be seen just as a Chinese platform. That's why we opened 2 stores in Spain, so we could be close to our customers, so they can come and not only look at a specific product, but also live a shopping experience.
Everybody's doing everything remotely.
Madrid store houses 1,000 products from more than 60 brands. Beauty products are no longer only for women in China. More and more men in the country are paying close attention to their appearances as well. With people in China enjoying greater purchasing power and growing awareness of personal care among men, the male beauty market in China is showing huge growth potential. Yin Junyi has more.
A report from research firm Euromonitor shows the Chinese male beauty market increased at an average annual rate of 13.5% between 2016 and 2019, far higher than the global average of 5.8%. For cosmetics companies looking for new avenues of growth, it's a huge opportunity.
I mainly use face masks and moisturizers. The products my wife is using don't work for me. The ones for men are much better.
That's how you know it's his
I
wife.
use for skincare products, including facial cream and cleanser than before, because we have to wear masks now.
What does it have to do? One thing is undoing the other, eh?
The growing demand and the increase in sales are spurring retailers to bring in more skincare products for men.
You are wearing the wrong kind of mask, wearing it the wrong way.
Our suppliers are offering more skincare products for men, and we are also stocking up more products from other brands. In the past, the sales of men's products accounted for only 10% of sales of our skincare products, but it is growing now. The sales volume of our men's products so far this year has risen 10 to 20% year on year.
The market is still quite undeveloped compared to the women's skincare market, however, and a lot of men prefer unisex products, as they are more easily available than products especially for men. Experts say that the growing demand for men's skincare products will encourage cosmetics companies to develop more products, especially for men's market.
A lot of the unisex product lines do offer a wider portfolio of choices for the consumers, while the male-specific products tend to be slightly more like 2-in-1 or 3-in-1. We do believe that in the future, amongst younger age, there will be a greater product adoptions, especially for very specific product lines for their specific usage occasions.
We also note that live stream promotions, as well as the wide use of social network platforms, such as Xiaohongshu, will also contribute to the growing popularity of men's skincare products. Consulting firm Eyelid Market Research predicts that globally, the men's personal care industry should be worth $166 billion by 2022.
And that was Yin Juni reporting on the male beauty market in China. Increasing demand has driven up coal prices in China. Tua Guoai is a production manager at a coal mining factory in Shanxi province. He said the price of coal went up by around 40 yuan per ton.
I've been working on this 10 seconds. I already got a better fucking marketing term than you did.
Recently, due to a strong demand in the domestic market, the average price for 1 ton of coal increased by 10%, from 370 yuan to 410 yuan.
Chaikun's chief analyst for the coal industry
you're having a language problem, the girl's going to think, oh, for your girl, you want
imports has also contributed to the rise in prices. Drop in China's domestic coal output is a factor as well.
The country's coal imports in the past were quite large, but imports dropped 21% month-on-month in August and 10% month-on-month in September. The overall coal imports for the first 9 months this year were down 4.4%.
Many coal producers across the country are now pumping up their production to keep up with rising demand. Experts say the increase in coal output will help to bring prices down. Prices will still remain high in the fourth quarter of this year. You're listening to the Beijing Hour. Coming up in sports, gearing up for the Chinese Super League final.
The Beijing Hour. Hello, I'm Peter Dinklage from X-Men Days of Future Past. You are listening to the Beijing Hour.
Hi, I'm Kathy Freeman. You are listening to the Beijing Hour.
Hi, everyone. I'm Long. Welcome.
Sports. Oh, wow. Why did I stop to listen?
Parce que le télétravail profite à bien des entreprises.
City News temporary outdoor restaurant and bar patios in Mississauga have the okay to continue through the end of the year.
This is World Today. We'll be back.
Through December 31st, the businesses can also install temporary
I am Alka Acharya. I teach at the Jawaharlal Nehru University.
Oh, covered areas with heaters. What a covered area with a heater is? It's an enclosed space. Do you know how much ventilation those heaters need? It's not a huge deal. I just want to know, do they know how much ventilation they need? Oh, so guys,
cracking down harder than ever before. It's only a matter of time until they find you. CRA can garnish your wages, empty your bank account, lien your house, or recommend criminal prosecution. If you made a mistake, it's not too late. Call Mark Feldstein Chartered Professional Accountants now. Visit markfeldstein.ca. markfeldstein.ca.
New Life Fertility knows it's been hard, but remember, there is new life around the corner. And New Life Fertility is here to help with an unbelievable price. An $8,500 package, including full IVF cycle, fresh or frozen transfer, ICSI, and 1-year storage. No added fees. Call now. Offer ends November 30th for the lowest cost and the highest success rates in Canada. Call New Life Fertility Center, Ontario's fastest growing fertility clinic, with 2 new clinics opening soon in Toronto. Go to newlifefertility.com.
Where'd you get the money bill at?
680 News Time, 6:51.
Traffic and weather together on the one. Brought to you by Limitless Tire and Shopper 680. Here's eastbound on Toronto, approaching Leslie and the Collectors. The crash here is cleared away. It's still heavy approaching Avenue Express, approaching Young Collectors towards Leslie. In Pickering, we still have big problems. Eastbound 401 at Liverpool. In the Express, all lanes are blocked. Nothing's getting through. It's jammed. Port Union Collectors, east of Port Union Express, out to Liverpool. Really slow going. Eastbound Kingston Road and eastbound Bailey, if you can get there. Both moving way better than the eastbound 401. That's where you want to be. Westbound 401, approaching Victoria Park and the Collectors. 2 right lanes are blocked with a crash. And then west of the Allen and the Express, we still have the right lane blocked off with a small crash. That's been there since just after 5. Hasn't barely been touched. And then west of the Allen, after that other crash in the Express, 2 left lanes are blocked off with collision and snow cleanup. That's been there since just after 4. Westbound 401 is backed up. In the Collectors, it's backed up from Brimley to approaching Victoria Park because of the crash, and then from Leslie to Keele. If you're in the Express, it's jammed from Brimley all the way to west of the Allen. That's really heavy in alternates as well. For the 680 Traffic Center, Carly Donahue. Traffic right now on the northbound DVP approaching Don Mills. That stalled vehicle is now on the right lane, so we do have a right lane taken out. There's only 3 lanes, so you got 2 to use, and it's causing delays from Baby Bloor to approaching Don Mills. The rest of that drive is okay. Southbound on the 400, 2 right lanes blocked off at Highway 89 for some construction. Doesn't look like delays are there yet, but they definitely will be. And then we do have delays, Highway 7 Express Collector collectors to south of Steeles. If you're traveling on the southbound 404 DVP, south of Finch to south of Lawrence is heavy, and then we have the ramp to westbound Lawrence partially blocked with a stopped vehicle. Westbound Gardner delays getting better from the DVP to west of Bathurst, and we still have that collision westbound 403 west of the Highway 6. We have a ramp lane and the right lane blocked, and it's causing a minor delay approaching Highway 6. Get a $150 instant rebate on select winter tires. No credit checks, no interest financing. Install in an hour or install is free. Locations at limitlesstire.com with the forecast and attached rain time.
All right, I'm going to grab some gloves early tomorrow morning. We're waking up to 1 degree, and a slight breeze will make it feel cooler than that. So if you're standing out at the bus stop, you want to make sure you layer up. Some cloud as well in the morning, but that's going to clear out into sunshine and 10 degrees. Mix of sun and cloud Friday. Likely just some passing light midday showers and 10 degrees as well. Saturday is cooler, but it's going to be sunny. So we've got that morning wind chill of -2, the afternoon high 7 degrees. Pretty windy and rainy on Sunday with a high of 13 degrees. But when that system moves out in its wake, we're going to significantly get cooler Monday, Tuesday, even a chance for flurries returning. Tonight down to a low of 1 degree. It is currently 7 degrees up here. This extended forecast is brought to you by Queen's Smith MBA in Toronto. Earn your MBA from Queen's Smith School of Business right here in Toronto. Find out more at smithmbaintoronto.com.
Welcome to Canada, where Chris Russell builds world-class amplifiers in Peterborough, Ontario, and Vince Bruzzese makes stunning speakers in Montreal, Quebec. When it comes to the world's finest audio equipment, Canada is right up there with the best of the best. And you can audition Bryston, Totem, Move, NAD and Blue Sound, and Baylor Radio, where we love the music just as much as you do.
I thought we were family. We looked at that, obviously.
The right sound for the right price.
We wanted to put our Christmas tree up in October. We're pretty sure you can relate to us because patiently waiting for Christmas has never been our strength. So why wait?
We can all use a little Christmas right about now. That's what.
Habilité au feu. Mais selon une analyse exhaustive effectuée par le pompier à la retraite, aujourd'hui professeur adjoint à l'Université de Paris,
we all are Catholic or Christian, whatever. And we all celebrate these holidays. And we're all white and we're all part of the minority. That's one. Everybody I know is non-white, non-Christian, They came here in 1508. They said these Indians are already wearing crosses. We've been doing this longer than you.
A été le premier édifice de bois massif au monde
à
atteindre 18 étages, plus de 2500 tonnes métriques de gaz à effet de serre. Wendy y vit depuis 1 an. Son verdict?
I can hear a little bit like footsteps at night. L'insonorisation n'est pas aussi bonne. J'ai pu entendre marcher au-dessus de moi. Ils ont d'ailleurs changé l'heure du couvre-feu à 10 heures. J'habitais dans l'édifice en béton en place l'an dernier et c'était beaucoup plus silencieux et le couvre-feu était plus tard. Mais j'adore vivre là.
Le projet de Canada Earth Tower, prévu au coin de la 8e avenue et Pine à Vancouver, propose de pousser encore plus loin la limite en hauteur des bâtiments en bois massif avec ses 40 étages.
C'était un reportage de Dominique Arnoldi à Vancouver.
Ici Radio-Canada Première, du cœur aux idées.
Le 24 août dernier, nous avons inauguré à l'antenne la nouvelle maison de Radio-Canada. Les travaux ne sont pas encore terminés, se poursuivent. Le déménagement se fait étape par étape. On a bien hâte de vous y accueillir. Une question, pourra-t-on y voir les œuvres d'art qui ornent les murs de l'ancienne maison? Élément de réponse avec notre journaliste Nabi Alexandre Chartier.
La grande tour brune de Radio-Canada recèle des trésors, comme une collection de 300 œuvres d'art créées par des artistes canadiens. L'historienne de l'art, spécialiste en gestion des biens culturels et conservatrice de la collection de Radio-Canada, Marjorie Godin.
La plupart datent des années 70. On sent beaucoup l'époque du pop art dans certaines des œuvres, comme un peu ici avec le Montpetit.
Des couleurs et des formes.
Why do you hire English speakers to write the articles in French?
Des toiles de qualité muséale de grands maîtres comme Lemieux ou Riopelle, ou le coup de cœur de la conservatrice, des cercles concentriques multicolores signés Tousignan.
C'est une œuvre, malgré son époque, qui a presque 50 ans maintenant, mais qui est encore très actuelle. Moi, je trouve, au contraire, ça démontre la vie animée de l'époque, puis la joie de vivre de l'époque qui avait dans les années 70, je dirais.
Ces œuvres majeures ont déjà une place assurée dans la nouvelle maison, avec un éclairage prévu pour les mettre en valeur. Mais pour les autres, L'équipe en charge de l'aménagement veut prendre le temps de bien faire les choses, comme l'explique la première directrice de Nouvelle Maison Radio-Canada et projets spéciaux de Radio-Canada, Emmanuel Lamarche.
Un peu comme quand on est dans une maison privée, quand on arrive dans une nouvelle maison, on attend d'accrocher quoi que ce soit sur les murs. On veut s'assurer qu'on va être bien avec ce qu'on va replacer sur les murs. On veut s'assurer de l'harmoniser à l'espace également.
Un déménagement complexe pour une dizaine d'œuvres construites in situ, comme cette muraille de Robert Mills, l'installation de Peter Knias, ou encore l'œuvre monumentale Bleu-Blanc-Rouge de Serge Lemoine, qui pèse 6 tonnes.
Elle a été faite directement sur un mur de blocs de béton. Donc, on parle de plâtre et d'acrylique qui a été apposé directement sur le mur de blocs de béton. Donc, très difficile d'enlever cette œuvre-là. Ça dépend de chacune des œuvres et chacune des œuvres donc, doit avoir son traitement très particulier selon la complexité ou non de retirer ces œuvres-là.
Mentionnons également qu'une œuvre est en cours d'installation sur une des façades extérieures de la nouvelle maison. Résonance des lieux de l'artiste Yannick Raymond représente.
What I love seeing, 2 disposable masks hanging side by side from your rear view mirror when you park the car overnight. You're using an 80-cent mask. 2 of them side by side. You own a car. There's 2 of you.
C'est ainsi que se termine notre heure du monde. Ici Jean-Sébastien Bernatchez, au nom de toute l'équipe. Merci d'avoir été des nôtres. Et je vous invite à rester à l'écoute pour le bulletin de l'heure qui suit dans un instant.
Dans quelques minutes, un moteur de recherche appelle Bulletin de nouvelles. Est-ce qu'il y a des conséquences physiques possibles à faire le défi anti-masturbatoire? Oui, No Not November. Quel est l'impact environnemental des missions spatiales? Le genre et les désirs quand on gagne le million. Et pourquoi certains navires font-ils mystérieusement demi-tour dans la voie maritime sur le lac Saint-Louis?
We're going down to an overnight low of 2. Tomorrow morning, mainly cloudy to start 5 degrees, and then tomorrow afternoon, mainly sunny and a high near 10.